Welcome to the deep dive. Think about navigating a river. Sometimes it's just smooth sailing, right? And then other times, boom, you hit these unexpected rapids.
Hmm.
Our listener Zoran actually talks about this idea of life in the new millennium being like a constant flow through, well, ever-changing currents.
And that's really the journey we're tracing today, isn't it? We've got this really fascinating set of personal reflections and observations from one listener. It's like a detailed log of their experiences
Exactly. Navigating some pretty big professional shifts.
and showing some incredible resilience along the way. We have personal reflections, notes on societal changes, economic shifts.
Right. So our aim here, it's not just to list what happened.
No, we want to dig deeper.
Exactly. We're looking for those key lessons. How do you handle change?
What actually builds resilience?
Yeah, and how do you find meaning, real personal meaning, when everything outside feels like it's shifting all the time?
Okay, so let's start maybe at the beginning of this part of their story. The
Well,
move to Ashland, Oregon.
yeah. It sounds like that environment, it really had an impact.
Ashland. Yeah. Known for being diverse, open. Sounds like it provided a kind of supportive base for the family.
It really does. And not just the town, apparently. Even the nearby Culliston Valley. There were Buddhist temples there.
Hmm. Interesting. An early experience of finding maybe stillness amidst all the motion.
That's what it sounds like. And this experience at the Foundation for Meditative Studies.
Oh, right. Meditating with a partner for the planet while it was snowing.
Yeah, it's such a powerful image, isn't it? Cultivating that inner calm while, the world outside is doing its thing.
It really points to an early awareness, maybe, of managing both internal and external landscapes.
It does. Zoran talks about that contrast of the sort of impersonal outside world versus the inner warmth we can generate.
And Mofu's message stuck with them, too, it seems.
That compassion and inner truth are just fundamental in everyone. Just need remembering.
Like an inner compass, which is probably helpful when things get turbulent later on.
Definitely. So then the story shifts, right, into the professional world.
Right. Nearly a decade at Charles Schwab, senior staff web developer.
So moving from that contemplative space into, well, the fast-paced digital realm of a major financial company, a different kind of flow, I guess.
Absolutely. And they weren't just maintaining things, they were building systems from scratch.
Yeah, a whole suite of software, specific tools for specific problems within Schwab.
Like PT, for tracking broker departures.
Exactly, which in finance, that's critical, right? For legal compliance when people leave.
Hugely important. And PR letters,
Yeah.
automating rate change notifications.
Imagine the volume. That must
Yeah.
have streamlined things incredibly.
And then there was the pricing desk, a business calculator.
Yeah.
It sounds like they were tackling some core functions.
It really does. It shows a real knack for translating these complex financial maneuvers into actual software that works, understanding the tech and the business.
That dual understanding is key. And the RPM program really stands out.
Oh, definitely. Calculating account profitability. And it got recognition from Charles Schwab himself.
Yeah, that speaks volumes in that industry. Shows the real impact of their work.
It really does. Even developing a stock market game for testing strategies shows that kind of proactive, innovative thinking.
Always looking to explore and improve, not just maintain. But, what really adds color here is the feedback from colleagues.
Oh, the feedback is amazing. Dan Villarreal talking about their ability to grasp complex needs, even anticipate problems.
Crucial in development.
Totally. Maurice Wright mentioned humility, intelligence, efficient coding. Win Shaw called working with them a breath of fresh air.
Wow. High praise. Clear communication, creative problem solving.
Yeah, and Paul Bishop.
Yeah.
Exceptional work ethic, high-quality solutions.
Oh.
Eric Wood pointed to their deep experience, understanding the business context, always positive.
It paints a picture of someone really valued, doesn't it? Technically strong, great team player.
Absolutely. Which makes the next part, well, tougher.
The first layoff from Schwab, despite all that contribution and positive feedback.
Yeah, a major turning point, and sadly a relatable one for a lot of people these days.
After almost 10 years. Part of a big reduction.
They mentioned getting a generous severance, but there was also this condition, silence about potential age discrimination.
That adds another layer, doesn't it? Raises questions about those unspoken realities in corporations. The feeling of being expendable, even when you're highly skilled.
Exactly. And it seems this really sparked some deeper thinking for the listener about corporate loyalty or maybe the lack of it.
Yeah, this observation about companies seemingly prioritizing profit over employee well-being. treating people like assets you can just replace.
It's stark, that image of people giving more time to work than family but still facing that insecurity. It's a powerful comment on, well, the modern work landscape.
And they started questioning if all these layoffs were even necessary. Could big companies absorb these hits differently?
Right. Without such a human cost. And noticing that widening gap between, executive pay and everyone else.
That awareness of the growing wealth gap seems really present in their reflections.
So that first layoff was a big deal, obviously, but it wasn't the end of the story.
No, not at all. They mentioned 5 layoffs since 2009. 5, compared to none before that.
That statistic it really hits home how much the ground has shifted. For professionals, stability isn't what it used to be.
It really isn't. But what's striking is the resilience. Right after Schwab, they landed a project at Steelhead Advertising.
Building forecasting software for Panasonic sounds like a pretty significant project.
It did. It was about enabling remote sales teams with temporary data storage. Pretty forward-thinking stuff.
But then the recession hit.
Yeah, the wider economy played its part, project canceled, another layoff. But the listener notes this with the grin in their writing.
Yeah, it speaks volumes, right? That ability to keep some perspective even when things are tough, that inner strength.
Definitely. So from there, Plexus Software, medical insurance software.
Right. Working on next-gen prototypes, claims portals for customers, even accessibility standards, making sure everyone could use these vital systems.
Again, complex, important work. Then a move to Overland Park, Kansas.
For a government contractor role with the USDA, maintaining livestock insurance sales software.
And they mentioned the excitement of seeing millions in insurance being processed, that tangible connection to the impact of their work.
It's like seeing your code make a real difference in a big way. And again, positive feedback. Mike Reed highlighted their experience, dedication, understanding requirement.
Consistent themes there, but then
Government shutdown, unpredictable external factor, another layoff.
it really underscores how much individual careers can be affected by these larger systemic forces, things totally outside your control.
So true. And then a similar thing happened shortly after at Heartland Crop Insurance, same shutdown impact.
Wow. Back to back due to the same external event.
Yeah. After that, though, a longer stretch with Booz Allen Hamilton.
Working on a GIS mapping system for farms. Sounds interesting. The team grew quite a bit over time.
Which suggests the project had real potential, right? But it sounds like it had its stops and starts.
Common for large projects, unfortunately. And eventually, the project dissolved, leading to another layoff.
But again, even with that instability, the positive feedback kept coming. Craig Belzer mentioned their talent, optimistic approach. G. Todd Comer praised their eagerness, dedication. Ross Short highlighted skills, positive attitude.
It's like their core value as a professional just shone through, regardless of the company or the project's fate. Those fundamental attributes really matter when you're navigating such a changeable career path.
Absolutely. And through all of this, all these jobs, layoffs, moves, there was one constant.
The personal project? What's cookingtreasures.com.
Their pride and joy, as they put it. It sounds like a real passion project.
It really does seem like it. Born from a love of travel, food, blending their web skills with something personal.
And it's pretty sophisticated, too. Worldwide ethnic recipes integrated with the USDA nutritional database.
And you can search by nutritional content. That's unique, really valuable.
It shows that drive to keep learning, right? Using the latest tech, constantly improving their skills, even outside of a formal job.
Definitely. And the purpose behind it, sharing nourishment, connection, global flavors. It's more than just a website. It's a source of personal meaning.
A tangible anchor, maybe, through all the professional ups and downs.
That makes sense. So reflecting on it all, 5 layoffs since 2009, that phrase, been there, done that.
It says so much, doesn't it? Resilience, perspective, maybe a bit of weariness, but definitely strength.
And acceptance, perhaps, of the new realities of work, loyalty, economic inequality, but also this emphasis on inner strength cultivated through those experiences.
Zoran's phrase, resilience of the spark, feels perfect here.
It really does. That inherent ability to adapt, keep flowing, find a new way forward, even when the currents are harsh.
And the listener acknowledges, look, maybe the salary won't bounce back immediately after a layoff. That's a reality.
But the real value, the experience, the skills, the inherent worth, that can't be measured just in dollars. It can't be lost in a layoff.
That brings us back to Zoran's other powerful quote, doesn't it? About the difference between how human systems measure worth
In coin and title,
versus how the universe measures it.
the light of the spark and the resilience of the soul. It's a profound way to frame it.
So, wrapping up this deep dive, what are the big takeaways?
Well, I think this journey is just such a clear picture of how unpredictable the professional world can be now.
Definitely. And it hammers home how crucial inner resilience is, adaptability.
Absolutely. And the lasting value of your own passions, your skills, continuing to learn regardless of what the job market is doing.
Which leads perfectly into that final thought, Zoran's Dragon trial prompt. It feels so relevant after hearing this story.
It really does. So for you, listening now, think about a big change, a real challenge you faced. What helped you get through it? What inner resources did you find you had?
And what did you learn about yourself, about life, from navigating that trial? Sometimes those tough moments, they really show us the strength of our own inner spark, don't they?
They absolutely can. It's a reminder that learning, adapting, growing, it's never really finished.
It's an ongoing journey. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.